Hello there, and welcome to tonight's episode of 20 Sides of Failure plays Curse of Strahd. I am just a little baby. I'm very tired. But we're working on it, and here we have the players that have to put up with me for 3.5 hours. Starting off in our bottom corner, we have our Furbolg Druid.
Hello, everybody. It is your friendly neighborhood Ness here, and I play the Furbolg Druid, Sunder Elwood, who is currently a very big lad and ready to eat some dog. Let's go.
Exactly that. And right next to our big chungus, we have our rogue.
We couldn't get to the unmute button quick enough. Hello, everybody. It's Ben Hartman, and I'm Mr. Sorrow playing Serenity. And I have absolutely every idea what's about to happen.
That's what recaps are for. We're all good. So, then we have our Elven Sorcerer.
Hi guys, I'm the Chipper Mythical, who plays the opposite of the angsty teenage Shadow Sorceress Elf, who's just... she's here. The sessions, I can't compete with her mood anymore. Is this what is like having children? I don't like it.
Not sure. We'll find out later. But speaking of children, we have our Barbarian Cleric.
Hi everyone, I'm English Ray. I played a 15-year-old human cleric, a miracle. I'm ready to smash some wolves' heads in again.
And standing next to her, ready to bring down the pain, we have our Human Artificer.
Hello there, I'm Dusky Beat. I'm playing Jack with his left hand Mechanical Man King. Yeah, let's bring it.
It is a beautiful time. And then last but no means least, we have our Aasimar Paladin.
Hello. I'm Naren, and I will be doing Aurora Rose. Bad time to want to speak to puppies, at least.
So,
You cannot pet that dog.
we can now pet this
Aw.
dog.
But I want to pet the puppy.
To catch everyone up, but also to make sure that Serenity has an idea of what's been going on. The party left the Abbey and headed to the Wizard's Tower that Esmeralda had said might be a good place to have as a base and somewhere that they could use for their nighttime adventures. They make it to the tower and find that someone had already decided to take up a little bit of residency there. You find a wagon with, after a little bit of lockpicking, an armoured saber-toothed tiger in the back. And moving inside, you find out that the person that had got there before you is Rudolf van Richten, a famous vampire hunter. Or, apparently, according to Esmeralda, though none of you have ever heard of him. He allows you to stay in the tower with him overnight after you explain your situation and say that you're trying to run away from a hag here. The next morning, you decide it'd be a good idea to go speak to the resident witch and also Barovian boogie woman Baba Lysaga. Travelling down to the village of Berez, you talk to a woman who has been watching over Baba for you don't know how long. She didn't tell you. But she is apparently a friend of Erwin and the Martikovs. You speak to Baba, and in fairness, you learn some good things. You learn that the hag was potentially listening in on your conversations this morning, because she is nowhere to be seen around you when you go to talk to Baba. And you also learn a very key and crucial fact that Baba Lysaga claims to be Strahd's mother, and even has an illusion of a baby that looks very much like him in a very run-down shack. You decided to leave the village of Perez, with the idea being that we have maybe overstayed our welcome now. But you left the village, you left behind the mountain pass, and you were heading back, if I remember correctly, towards the tower to almost do like a regroup, when you hear the sound of howling wolves and the people coming towards you. You decided to stand your ground. Now's the better time than any to thin some of the wolf population. And that is where we're going to be picking up today. So, I'm going to activate the map. I've positioned you where you positioned yourself at the end of last week. But obviously, if you wish to rearrange yourself, now is the time.
Definitely gonna move a little bit over here. More towards the front.
So, Esmeralda specifically put herself in front of you to be like a surrounding area.
Mm-hmm.
Serenity's going off into the woods, which is completely fair and fine.
This is where I'm hiding right there, yep.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're hiding, then roll a stealth check.
Do I have an opportunity to hide, or no? I assumed I was like going like into initiative immediately.
I mean, technically yes, but at the same time, the party at the end of last session had like a moment to prepare. So I'll give you the chance to be like, if what Serenity would be doing to prepare is going off into the woods and hiding, then that's fair.
Yep. Damn, bad roll. All right, 21.
Okay.
I did write down who were holding actions and what they were holding, in case anybody forgot.
And that will maybe come into play once initiative does start. So I've already set up an encounter in the side of the screen. Feel free to roll initiative when you are ready. And then what we will do is we will stop the music here for a second so that I can then bring us over to this screen. There we go. And zoom us in on the map a little bit. Is that everyone? We're just waiting for an initiative from Saya.
Hold on.
Okay. So, because of the way that a surprise round works, Serenity, as the only person with a high enough passive perception to see these wolves stealthing, you can see them in the underbrush. Or at the very least, you can see where the trees are moving. But from the looks of it, and from the looks of your party, no one else can see them. They're looking about, they're holding readying actions, they're getting weapons ready, whereas you can see these wolves. And they are getting ready to pounce on the entirety of the party.
I had a question, so I'll hold what I'll do until then.
Well, ask the question.
I heard someone said question. Not me. Okay, well apparently I'm just hearing things at this point.
I just went, damn, what's your passive?
21.
I thought I heard question. Yeah. Don't worry. I've what the fuck? It just looks so just all of them pop up. Okay.
So, with the way that surprise rounds work, because your passive is the only one high enough to get past the stealth that they rolled, you are a part of this turn. But it's only you.
Copy.
And then it's the wolves.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because I'm a little bit blanking on surprise rules. If I throw a knife or shout and point, like, I would say a group of them out, will those group lose their surprise and the rest get them? All of it lose it, none of them lose it? How would that work?
So essentially the way that it is that they have a turn of initiative without anyone else being able to react, simply because their group is surprised.
No matter what I do.
No matter what you do. You're getting
cool. That's what I wanted to confirm.
You're getting a turn in this turn because you saw them coming.
Sexy. Okay, that's fine. I will go ahead and just attack.
And because of the stealth that you rolled, they don't see you.
Ha! Sexy. Alright, I'm going to attack the one next to me. While I attack, well, I guess no matter what, I'll be like, I'll yell like they're coming, but I'll attack at the same time. They're not going to be able to, can't fix their surprise. So, I remember how to play. I have an advantage correctly because you said my stealth passed.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's not bad. That ain't bad. 25.
Yeah, that definitely hits. Because these are just
Alrighty.
common to garden wolves.
Damage normal. So it's going to be 9 normal plus 21 sneak attacks, with total of 30.
And the wolf in front of you is down in one shot.
And cunning action, I would like to stealthily get and hide. Where's my stealth? Boom. Boom. Well, that's kind of sucked. 19.
Okay.
Then that'll be the end of my turn.
Alright then, so it is now the wolves' turn. And they get to move up. So I will allow people to, like, because you held actions and you were getting ready, I'll still allow the people that have done that to do that, but you're not getting a turn in this order.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
So we have to there, to there, to there, to there, to there, up there to King, and then we have 2 coming up to, actually, yeah, 2 coming up to Amira, 1 coming up to Saya, and then because you've hidden, it will be another one coming up to Saya.
I will say, prior to this, I was holding the cantrip.
No, I know. So, Ray, can you please read down the list for everyone so that we know
Yes.
what people are doing?
So, Jack held an action to throw a card. I held an action to hit with a battle axe. Aurora held an action to hit with a sword. Sonna held an action to bite. Saya held a cantrip, which was sword burst. And Esmeralda took her rapier and hand axe and went a little away from the road in the group.
Okay.
And we agreed we should all disperse because of pack tactics.
So, we'll go in order. So, Saya, do your sword burst.
Do I have to target them? Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so if you roll the damage, it should roll the dexterity saves for them. Okay, so they both succeeded. So they shouldn't have took any damage.
Damn.
Yeah, it's given them half damage when they shouldn't have taken any. But that is fine. So the sword burst is gone, so now Amira, targeting with the battle axe. Yeah, that definitely hits.
Oh wow, minimum damage.
Still doing a good decent bit. Jack, throwing a card. I'll let you choose which one. Okay. Takes out the one that Amira set up. There isn't any near Aurora, so that held action fizzles. Sonder, you get your choice of who to bite.
Biting the one right north of me next to Esmeralda.
Mm-hmm.
23.
And that's definitely hidden with a 23. Okay,
23
absolutely
again.
ripped in half.
Hell yeah.
And then Esmeralda gets to make an attack with her rapier. That unfortunately misses, however. So I believe that's all the held actions. And with that being the case, we'll move on to the attacks. So, we're going to have 3 different wolves attacking Sonder. And they will have advantage for pack tactics. Okay, so that is 9 damage to you. And I need you to roll a strength saving throw for me, please. Oh, has it already done it? Nice.
Oh, rip.
You fail. So you're prone. Okay.
Ripperoni. Okay.
Well, that's the first one.
Don't worry.
Second guy. I mean,
fine,
you would
don't
have
worry.
had advantage anyway, but now they have double advantage because you're on the floor. Minimum damage there.
I'm already on the floor, so should I roll another strength save?
No, because you're already prone. They can't, like, make you doubly prone.
You could be on the floor. On the floor.
Double on the floor.
Throwing your back out on the floor. That was so close to being a natural 20. But no, that one misses. Okay. So that's all 3 attacks against Sonder. We're then going to have 2 attacks against Esmeralda. First one is going to miss. Second one. Also going to miss. They try to snap at her ankles and her wrist, almost try and get her to drop the weapon, but she smacks one in the nose with the pommel of her rapier, and the other one she just almost does like a graceful dancer's back step of like bringing the ankle out of the way. So now we have, okay, there's going to be 2 attacks against him. Alright then. They are sinking their teeth into that poor man's leg. And he does succeed on the strength save, so that's fair enough. That second one, however, misses. So King only takes the 1 bite. So now it is Amira.
King is going to use his reaction to impose disadvantage.
Mm-hmm. So that's a 17 and is still going to hit. That's a save for Wrath of the Storm.
Yep.
So half as much
Alright,
damage.
yeah. Okay, so he takes 8.
Takes 8 points of damage. And you take 5.
Okay, and a saving throw. 27. Why have I got a constitution coming up about it?
It thinks you're concentrating on something.
Of course it does. What a waste of a nat 20.
Okay, so then moving on to the bottom of the page, we have 2 attacking Saya. That is a natural
Oof.
20. So,
Oh god.
very cool. Only does 5 points of damage. Wait, no. You should do 11. Why is it saying you're doing 5?
Is asking for a strength saving throw?
Yeah.
I am not strong. I knew I was not strong.
Okay, so... Have you taken 11 points of damage?
I don't. No, I did not.
Okay, so you needed to have taken 11. I don't know why. Let me look at your sheet, actually. Because for some reason it's saying that you're getting half damage for some reason. But you're definitely prone on the floor. Yeah, it's halving the damage that you're taking, and I don't know why. And I'm now going to have to do research. But that is the
something
end.
to do with damage type?
Well, that's what I'm going to check. So,
Okay.
that is the end of the wolf's turn. So it then goes back to the top of initiative, and it is now Serenity's turn.
Wait, did you want me to roll this other saving throw?
No, because you're already prone on the floor.
Okay.
Oh, right. So you two are good where you're at. You're getting surrounded. You're perfectly fine. You're fine. I will go ahead and attack this one to back up Saya.
Mm-hmm.
Did that stealth pass for advantage or no? 19.
19, yes.
Okay. Damn. Well, only 22 to hit again.
Yeah, that 22 is definitely going to hit.
Yeah, it could be better. That's going to be 8 for initial and... so it's another 30 damage total.
Taking him out in one slip.
And again, cutting action, I will go ahead and stealth. Little bit better. That's a 28 to stealth.
Yeah, I went ahead and fixed that, so it took the right amount for off.
I can see why it's done it. Okay,
Why?
yeah. It's because I'll just have to keep track of that as something. It comes from you being spectral.
Oh.
Aurora.
All right, so Aurora is gonna move up here and take a swing at this one to also help Saya out.
Thank you, guys.
Hey. Is that a hit?
Yeah, 16 does hit.
Awesome. Oh, wait. Wrong button. There we go.
Taking the swing.
Yeah. I'm going to... Yeah, second hit on that one, too. Do.
And that one's going to hit as well.
Woohoo! 6
Another wolf down.
Awesome. Do. I will. I'll head over to Amira, I guess. See what's left by the time my turn swings around again.
All right then, Jack.
Move up a little bit, but gonna try to clear the headway. So take aim, help out clear up Esmeralda. We'll be sharpshooter. First card.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, I
that
think
was almost a one.
that's gonna fit. You know, I have a sneaking feeling.
Fair enough.
Nice. Oh my god.
Instant death.
And second card. That might not hit.
That one isn't. No,
That's a third.
it would have without the sharpshooter.
Fair enough. But bonus action. The king is just gonna punch the one right in front of him. King's gonna punch the injured one.
As he should. As is his right.
Fantastic. Good job, King.
And another one
Yes.
punched into the dirt.
Then just gonna move up one. I can't move him right now, but
That's
he's gonna
fine.
move into that small little nook up there.
Moving into the nook.
That's my go.
Alright then, Saya, it is your turn.
Hmm. Yeah, okay. I'm going to. That's not my person. I don't know why I tried moving Aurora, but I did. Um. Yeah. I'm going to target this one right here.
Mhm.
And that is going to be Burning Hand.
Burning
I think
hands,
I-
but cone.
You're gonna hit me if you do that.
Nope, I just have to do my template the right way.
Alright then, place that template.
There you go. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh.
fair enough.
I'm just putting this one down because it had me do it again, so I'm just putting that one down. And, I don't have to do damage or anything.
So you should be rolling damage, and then it will roll the dexterity save. Okay, so it took half damage from that.
I was gonna say, if that succeeded again,
Alright, rolled a 19.
they're immune to spells. And, for my bonus action, which I probably am not even going to need, but I'm gonna pull it out anyway. I'm gonna summon my Shadow Blade.
Okay. Shadow Blade has been... Oh, can you though? Because that is another spell.
Oh, it says as a bonus action.
Yeah, but you can only cast one spell per turn.
Oh.
Yeah, your Shadow Blade
Never
is a
mind.
spell in its own right.
Okay, never mind. Just kidding. I was half right. It's in bonus action.
No, very true. Anything else for your turn, Saya?
No, I'm good.
Alright then, it is now Esmeralda's turn. I'm gonna focus on the one above her. Only because she looks to you, Sonder, and is just that like, yeah, you've got that one covered.
I got you, buddy.
Yeah. Looking at the giant crocodile, just being like, okay. There's a natural 4. Honey, what you doing?
She's shitting herself
Oh.
from the fucking crocodile, apparently.
Yay!
She's herself from the crocodile, but manages to steal herself. Still a barely anything roll. Damn. Yeah, she's really shaken up with the crocodile. That's just not landing her blows the way that she should. And you can see her, like, actually cursing under her breath that she's not being effective right now. But that is the end of her turn. Amira.
I know I ask this every time, and it's because I forget. Flanking.
No,
Thank you.
never have.
I'm the only one who does.
Okay, in that case then, moving up here, we'll hit this one.
That hits. And an immediate knockout.
And I can go again, because I get 2 attacks.
2 swings and 2 bleeding out wolves. There is only 4 left on the battlefield.
And I have a little bit of movement left, so I'm gonna go here.
Mm-hmm.
I get to hit twice. I'm just trying to... I can't... Oh, cracky, I'm being really stupid. I got to attack twice, but then bonus action stuff, so... No, okay. Oh, spiritual weapon, I guess, but it's not really worth it, because I'm just gonna go, I guess. Yep, no, okay, I'll pass.
Alright then. So ending your turn is now the remaining wolves' turn. Let's target Esmeralda. And do them first. Yeah, sure, why not? That's not going to hit because she cast shield, which is the whole point of me casting shield. UI sometimes it's silly. And because shield is still active, that doesn't hit. So they had 2 goes to attack her, and she mumbles something under her breath, and you can see very quickly her flash almost this imperceptible rippling barrier in front of her, and it's that they bite into instead. So then, I mean, it makes sense. Okay.
Did that one just move out of range of Sonder?
No, because Sonder has such a massive range with his attacks that they are still within reach.
Okay.
The beauty, but also the backdrops of being huge.
Yeah.
That is not going to hit Saya.
Ayo.
Heyo! Thank you.
Oh
Oh.
no!
That one is
Never
done.
mind.
Oh. I celebrated too soon.
Taking 9 points of damage and needing to make a strength saving throw. That one you succeed.
Hey!
I do not fall down! Take that, you mothers!
Okay, so that is the 4 that are left alive, so that is the end of their turn. Sonder.
Get away from my kid, fucko. I'm going to multi this turn. And I'm gonna go bite this boy.
Which hits.
Awesome.
And rip him in half completely.
Get fucked, mate.
Woo!
No,
And
the
then-
pelts.
Because of the multi-attack, I'm gonna do the tail attack to the one, right in front of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking nat 20, let's go!
Woo! Good job! Yay, Sonder! Protecting the Saya.
I mean, it failed the strength save, so was knocked prone by the tail, and then immediately just gets flattened.
Yes, completely coward. I'm sorry, Saya, you're probably sprayed with a little bit of blood. My bad.
That's
I mean,
okay.
if anything, it's more the thing of you all hear a sickening crunch, like someone stepping on a pack of crisps or chips, as you guys would say. And it's just every bone and rib in that wolf's body, like, shattering.
I don't have anything for bonus actions, so I'd end turn.
Alright then, Serenity.
Alrighty, we're looking pretty good. That one's near death. That one's not. I can't attack this one right here, right now, right?
I'm gonna go with no, just because there's a Sonder in the way.
Sorry,
if
my
I-
ass is too fat.
If I did that,
Oh yeah, then that's fine.
okay. I'm assuming they didn't see me with a 29.
No.
Hey, I like to ask. Ah, man, still not on 20. 26 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And damage. See if it's another 30. Oh, it's definitely not going to be another 30. That's a 5 initial. Ooh, worst one. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is going to be a total of 14 damage instead.
Yes.
Well, apparently I'm just that awesome. And I will go ahead and cutting action is death.
No, she's
Man,
not 20.
There's my 20. Well, 32. I'm gone from the game and end my turn.
Aurora. One wolf left, and it's on the other side of Sander.
Yup. I can. Yeah, I was gonna say I can squeeze by people to get up
Technically,
there,
yeah.
right?
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm gonna. I need to squeeze past people. Would I be able to make it all the way though?
Well, that's 25 to there,
No,
so
that
30
would-
can go to there.
Okay. Okay, sweet. So, let's see if I can take this guy out.
I mean, you're definitely hitting.
For once.
How do you want to do this, Aurora? The killing blow.
I'm so bad with figuring out healing blows. She'd probably go for something essentially quick and efficient.
So with a long sword, more of a slashing than a piercing weapon, you essentially come down on the spine of this creature, like just trying to knock it to the ground, and you do enough of a heavy hit that you hear the spine of this wolf crack as it crumples to the floor.
Whoop.
But that, as far as you're aware, is the end of that.
Once Saunders sees that all of the wolves are gone, he kind of turns around and puts his nose to, like, Saya's abdomen, and you just hear a low rumble as he starts sniffing you, because he knows that you got hurt.
She looks down. She looks down and just kind of pets at him, and just kind of goes, "Oh, it's okay. It's not like I haven't been hurt before." And then she'll just like kind of like pet him again and like she'll give him give his head a hug and be like, "Thanks for protecting me, though."
He gives like a huff through his nose, and his eyes close as he kind of like tilts his head a little bit more into your hold. And he kind of takes a cursory look around and sees if anybody else is hurt. I think Amir is the only one.
Yeah, but that's because of other shenanigans. No, you see Amira. Amira is absolutely fine. She's skinning wolves.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Survival check.
Do I get advantage because I've done it before?
No. Your DC is lower because you've done it before, but you don't get advantage.
That's an 18.
So, you are able to get, in fairness, pretty much all of the wolf pelts. There's a couple, like for example, the one that Sonder crushed, that would have been a little bit more of a delicate work that you just don't have the expertise to deal with that. And which one was it? It was the one that King just absolutely pile-drived into the floor. That's not really salvageable, but the others. So you have 11 wolf pelts.
Nice. And meat.
Oh, you just said you were skinning them for pelts. I mean, if you
Oh,
want
sorry,
to, if you want to do another one for butchery, then yeah, that's another survival check.
Okay.
I will say while that's happening, Saya is just going to stomp on the crushed one.
Okay.
Double tap.
She's just stomping on it.
Okay. You get 4 days worth of rations for everyone. So if everyone wants to add 4 rations to their pack, that's what you have. But bear in mind that it is raw meat right now that hasn't been cured or smoked or given any time to prepare.
Yay.
Alright. Gonna swap us back over to our normal screen. Because combat is over. I will also stop this music. Because it is not appropriate. So. What are we doing?
Jack would climb onto Saunders' back and just kind of like lay between the spines, just like sprawled out, like if he was suntanning.
Yes, 100%. As soon as he sees you, like, coming over, he immediately, like, gets down, like, on his stomach, so that you can just get situated. And as soon as you're done and you're done moving, he just sits back up. And if crocodiles could smile, his eyes are a little bit squinted. He looks like he's having a good time.
Alright. Let's get back to the tower and talk. And then I think the next thing we should be doing today is head on out to that castle for you, Saunders. Try to find that old lore. Figure out what.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it.
He just kind of gives a little bit of like a groan and a hiss in response.
It's gonna be alright, Saunders.
He kind of like stomps like one of his front feet on the ground and just kind of makes a huff through his nose, and his eyes kind of roll. And it's just a fine.
He's just gonna pull himself up just a little bit, just to look down at Saunders. Like, don't be using that type of tone. Clearly joking.
He definitely, you see the eyeball look up at you as he just like lightly shakes his head. He would definitely look over towards Esmeralda. He feels kind of bad that he scared her by just popping the fuck off. And he'll kind of like move towards her a little bit slowly and like put his head down a little bit as to be as non-threatening as a giant crocodile can be. And he does look apologetic, I will say that.
She, after resheathing her weapons, she does look down at you, and reading your posture just gives you like a scritch between the eye ridges and goes, "It's not your fault, Saunders. It's been a long time since I have been actively in the field. I think I am just rusty."
He kind of like nuzzles her nose, nuzzles his nose, into her hand, and just gives her a little nod, and he kind of has a small like purr rumble. You know when baby alligators get pet, it's kind of that like really low vibration. It's like that. And he just kind of like sniffs her hand.
But with that, unless there's anything else that you're wanting to do, you leave that crossroads and head on to the tower. By the time that you get there, because you've been gone for about 4 hours at this point, the caravan that was Van Richten's is now gone. So you're assuming that he took your advice and that he was going to essentially go back to Vallaki, continue whatever mission he was doing before he accidentally got kicked out.
I'm really sorry, you cut out.
Which bit?
All of it for me.
Yeah, pretty much, sorry.
Van Richten's caravan is gone.
Yeah, he went to... We assume he took our advice and went to Vallaki?
Yeah. But that just means that you have the tower to yourself.
How close can I get without popping out of wild shape?
Based on the feelings that you felt this morning, you can pretty much get all the way up to like just outside the perimeter. But as soon as you walk within 5 feet of the door, you will get popped out.
Okay. Sonder makes sure that Jack is situated more close to his neck, so when he does pop out of wild shape, he has Jack in like a piggyback. And it's definitely strange, because Jack, you can feel like the literal reshaping of his skeletal structure, where like bones pop and crack and twist and like musculature like moves as he just becomes the regular boy that we all know and love.
The mirror is right behind you in case like you somehow misjudge it and like Jack falls backwards or something.
Because whenever Saunders first like resituated him, he's like, okay, I understand, like you're gonna be going back, but then he feels pretty much the reverberations of whatever's inside Saunders' body, and it would just be just a look of horror and concern on his face.
Yeah, Sonder kind of just like hefts Jack up a little bit so he can get his arms more situated around like the back of his knee, and he kind of just shakes his head and like he would feel a little shiver go down like Sonder's spine, but he just turns back to look at Jack and gives him a big smile.
Does that happen every time?
Yes, actually.
Does that hurt?
It did at first, when I was very little and just learning how to wild shape, but it doesn't bother me anymore.
Fair enough.
It's more of the switching of senses that kind of gets to me. Because usually if I'm a direwolf, all of the smells and the sights are very enhanced. So when I revert back to my normal form, it feels like I've lost something for a little bit. Feels like I have to rub my eyes to get the gunk out of them so I can see clearer, or that like my nose is stuffed. But I get used to it after a few minutes.
Alrighty. Let's get inside so we can all talk.
Sonder will just nod and walk him and Jack inside the building. And once he's like in the main foyer, he'll slightly like bend down so Jack can like slide off of his back and land fine without like the twisting of an ankle or anything.
So what you're telling me, Sonder, is that you're the one that's going to open the door?
Yes.
Okay.
I aid in this. Just over his shoulder. It's like, hold on, you need to do this.
Well, well, that's the question. How are you opening this door? You just walking up and pushing a handle?
So, I saw Jack and Venricton talking about it beforehand. So, instead of just like opening it and pushing it, he looks to Jack and is like, okay, so what was the secret, I guess, what is the term of phrase? The passcode? How do I open this thing without blowing all of us up?
Jack go over all the steps and what he's supposed to do and like trusting the outlines and those things, the other symbols and all that jazz.
Well, this is you rolling an intelligence check to see if you remember exactly what Van Richten told you.
Hell yes, let's go. I'm using a flash of genius on this. Didn't add the 5 to that, but that should be a 24.
A 24. Okay. What I'm going to do is, this isn't something that's going to be seen by the audience. I do apologise for that. But for my players, I'm going to send a picture of the symbol on the front of the door.
Okay.
And Jack, what you remember, or at least what Van Richten told you, is that the symbols are a hint to how you should essentially arrange your body. And you have to follow the pattern of the line. So you'll see it there in the Discord server. It starts at the top of the line and finishes following the sequence.
Interesting. Okay, so you have to fucking dance to get in the doorway.
You have to do the YMCA.
Fuck. Okay.
Oh my god, I remember that. Okay, I was gonna say I was remembering hand gestures, and then we were doing something about with like we started singing the YMCA for no reason. And I was like, is that it?
Okay.
But
So
Where's a bard when you need one?
he
Not
drove
this
away.
time.
Actually, he's gone to Valaki.
bold of you to assume that man's a bard.
So who has good dancing skills here?
Points to Aurora.
Yeah, it's Aurora.
Okay.
What's the thing? Would it be a performance or would it be like a dex thing?
Neither.
I'm gonna point at
So,
a symbol and just need you to go into that.
yeah, so Naren, what I need you to do is looking at the symbol in our Discord, tell me, what symbols are you doing first? And in what order are you doing them?
Oh gosh.
Because it's all well and good, people being like, oh, you just have to follow the pattern. Which ones are you doing?
Can I put my 2 cents in?
Yep.
I would say start with the one on the Y. Then be going down to that bottom one, the very bottom. Then following up to like almost T-pose. Then left. So if we're doing like time-wise, we'd be going to like 11 to 6 to 12 to 9 to 5 to 2 to 7 to 3.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually about what I was looking at too.
Because
Hang
if you
on.
look at the way it's like scored into the actual material, it looks like it follows. Like the lines are above certain lines, type of thing, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I will try that way.
Okay. You...
You were gonna say something, Ray?
Yeah, I'm just looking at a picture and I don't know if it's because it's not to drag on your camera or anything.
Okay,
But
it's
the
an old
one at
phone.
3 o'clock. I know, I'm trying not to drag on the camera. There's like a little mark next to the 3 o'clock guy, but I don't know if that's actually a mark or just the camera quality, or if it's actually part of like the nail part. Like,
It
is
looks
that...
like that's part of the nail part, because you can see it on the other side as well as near the bottom top.
Did Van Richten never tell you where you should have started?
Yeah, can I roll, I was going to say insight, but, can I roll, like, an intelligence check to see if I can remember too before I start?
I mean, with his 24, Jack knows that you're meant to start with the top corner.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's not something you
Yeah,
need
then
to roll for.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I will follow the way that, that Jack/D pointed out, because that's actually what I was kind of looking at too, tracing the pattern out.
Okay. You follow the symbols, you do the patterns, and the door clicks open.
At least we
Sonder
didn't
gives
blow
a
up.
small whoop because he can't exactly clap his hands right now.
Fantastic. Everyone inside except for you, King. Stay outside.
King diligently follows your orders.
I'm going to get my stuff and make sure I bring in the all of our raw rations.
Oh, I've got him.
Okay.
Yeah, there was no point in me going around and being like, 4 for you, 4 for you, 4 for you, 4 for you. Like, I just have them all. I will cook them and then distribute them.
Okay.
Alright then.
I guess it's my afternoon.
Once we do get in the building and none of us have burned up, then Sonder will gently place Jack down on the floor again.
Alrighty. There are some things we all need to discuss. Primarily about Populous Saga. How we want to go about that.
Before we get into discussing that, I have something I want to say.
Of course you do.
She turns and looks at Amira. Well, if you want to know, it's about you.
Oh, did I hurt your feelings?
I'm tired of you being rude to me.
I'm not being rude to you. I'm actually saving your life.
It's
But
not
you
even
haven't
about.
so much, then I just won't do it, and I'll just let you,
Amira, it's not even about that, though. Like, you call me names, and I don't even say that about you, and it's just, I notice you're nicer to everyone else, but when it comes to me, you're just, I know I'm not the friendliest person to be around. You don't have to tell me that. I already know that. But don't you think you could improve your attitude a little bit more better?
What names?
For instance, you call me stupid girl.
I only call you that when you are actually being stupid, though.
Well, I don't like it. How would you feel if I started calling you that from now on?
Well, we all know it wouldn't be true.
It doesn't matter if it's true or not. I don't like it. I want you to stop.
Well, then stop being stupid.
Stop saying things that you probably should. Listen, we don't have to. We are risking our lives to save you.
and I've said it many times, I will do this on my own. If I need to. If I have to. In fact, you can ask Sonder. You can ask Jack. I didn't want to put any of you at risk. I was going to go alone. I was going to walk out of here, crack a dawn, go on my own.
Well,
I
in
was
that
told,
case-
no, we're a group. No, we'll do this together.
Yeah, can you break this up?
All
Please. This is a circle.
all I'm saying is I just don't like the way you attack me all the time. I feel like a victim.
Wow. Wow. You feel like a victim and yet you aren't one? So that's a you issue that you need to sort out. My thing that I need to sort out to make sure that everybody is safe is being able to know when to speak, when not to, when to look, when not to, when to fight or when to stand down. I know how to do that here because I'm from here. I have that information. So if I'm telling you, shut up and let's just walk, do it. If I'm telling you, or anybody else tells you here, don't make a stupid decision and go out on your own at night into the middle of the woods. Maybe
Amira,
don't.
all I said was I didn't like the way that you were calling me names and treating me like I'm not even part of the group. That's all I said.
Alright. Everyone, let's just calm down for a second.
I am calm. I am
From
very
now on,
calm.
we're just gonna call people by their own names. No nicknames, no nothing like that. We all good with that?
Well, which name do you want from me then? The one I was born
Amira.
with? The one that was changed? Or the ones that my
Amira.
parents screamed?
Your name will
I'm
be
just
Amira.
addressing that.
And we are resolving it. We're all just gonna be called by our names.
This is why emotions
Okay.
are stupid and we shouldn't have them in the first place. I was trained right. But no.
Really?
I'm trying to. You shut up when I'm talking.
No. Absolutely not.
This is why I tried to do, but it never works the way I want it to. And obviously, it's prom that you are the worst person
right.
here. And I don't care if you get eaten by the hag or not, because obviously you deserve it. So you can
I'm the
walk
worst
out and
person
get eaten by the hag and take your years and all that. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm the
Let's
worst
just-
person here, and yet I'm the one that's remaining calm. I'm the one that's helping people out. I'm the one who got their rib cage fucking cracked in and split apart to protect Irina. I did
Boo-hoo.
that
So
2
what?
times. I can say the exact same thing about you waking up in that coffin shop. Boo-hoo. Grow up.
Okay.
I did.
Okay,
And I'm
both of you, stop. Both of you, stop talking. This is not the time for this. I understand.
She's not nice to me.
I understand that tensions are high. I understand that people are under a lot of stress. Please, can we not just be nice and get along? I understand your point, Amira, that it is frustrating when sometimes we do things that are not the best option. And Saya, I understand that you are upset and you feel like you're being singled out for something that happened not so long ago, but we're fine and everything is fine. Nobody was killed. Everything is fine. We're okay. I see both of your points, and they are both valid. You are allowed to feel your feelings. But I've had enough of the infighting and the squabbling that this group does. With Azazel not here, without him poking and prodding open wounds, it's gotten a little bit better. Don't get me wrong, I love Azazel, but sometimes he says things to hurt people. But we are a group. We are here to protect each other, to help each other. We are not here to bring each other down, to make each other hurt. We're all in this together, okay? So instead of pointing fingers, instead of taking blame, instead of saying that you deserve to be eaten, or that the next time you need help, I won't help you, we just take a step back. Take a deep breath and see it from the other person's point of view.
I was trying to address that, but she is always. Maybe it's her tone of voice, but she's always. And I don't know how to say it, but I just feel it. And oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I wish Azazel was here than you were.
Reddy just raises her hand.
Hang on a second, Serenity.
Actually, oh damn it, I messed it up. Never mind, continue.
Hang on a second, Serenity. I'll pass the stick.
She literally just handing you the stick she has.
Not with the talking stick again.
She never left it. She held it this whole time.
I hold this stick and I wave it. But you can be as frustrated, as upset, or whatever the hell you want with me. But do you not think the reason why you're frustrated and upset is because there is some part of you that knows that I am telling the truth? I get frustrated. I can go into a rage. Do you realize now that I'm not doing either of those things and I am just talking to you? I get frustrated because you do not think things through. Because you will just say whatever you want to say whenever you want to say it. And sometimes that is a detriment to this group. Sometimes you do things without thinking, such as walking through a wall in front of somebody we don't even know if they're an ally or a foe, especially when they have just before that had a giant cat attack one of our own. But you walk through a wall anyway, and you show your ace card and your get out of jail card by doing that. You didn't think about the consequences. You walked through him. You didn't think about the consequences. You say stuff. You don't think about the consequences. All I'm asking, and all I am really hoping, is that you think before you do something. Because many, many times you have not thought and you have just done something. And despite my saying it so many ways, nicely, meanly, quietly, slowly, calmly, gently, I have said this to you so many times. This place is out to kill you. Don't make it easy. And I don't understand why you do not heed that warning. Do you want to get out of here? Do you? Because I know nothing beyond this round, but I can tell you already, I would take 1,000,000 unknowns than stay here. I'll go to wherever Aurora's from, or wherever Jack's from, or wherever Saunders from. I will go anywhere except stay here. So when I am telling you, be careful, think, don't be stupid, be quiet, just let's shut up and walk. I am saying it to protect you. I am saying it to protect everybody. When they said, Baba Lysaga was not a hag, my stomach freaking dropped. Because at least with a hag, I kind of knew what I was going into. And when we were told that she wasn't a hag, fuck. The possibilities of what could happen, everything that was so sure, immediately out the window. We are back to square one. In fact, square minus 20,000. Because we had no idea how to act, what to say, what our body language should be, nothing. I am fine with dealing with consequences. I am fine helping people out and having their back, but there comes a point when you also have to help yourself. And I am giving you this help. Azazel, yes, he was an asshole, but he was also trying to do that. Yes, his way was a bit more abrasive. I tried to be kind. I tried to be nice. And when that didn't work, yes, I got a little bit frustrated and I said it meanly. Or I said, you know, a mean word and I called you stupid. But please, think. Just take account. Just stop for a second and realize that everything you do will have a consequence. There is never a situation where you make a decision and there is not a consequence that follows it. Everything you do has an impact. And as you have said and everybody has said, we're a team. So it's not just you it impacts, it's everybody else.
I'm not saying we're not a team, Amira. I'm asking why you're going after me and you're mean to me sometimes. I don't like it. You're not like that with Jack. You're not like that with Sonder.
Because
you're not even like that with Aurora.
Because they have understood. They have understood.
So that's it then, because I don't understand. I get treated differently?
I just point to the stick.
Because... in a second. No. You get treated differently because it is still a lesson you need to learn, whereas everybody else has already learned that lesson and others beyond it. If anything, you should be thanking me because I am constantly having your back. I am constantly looking out for you. The first things I usually think of is, oh God, how do I help Saya through this? Oh Goddess, help me guide her. Goddess, please help me keep her safe.
Really? Because you've never showed it before.
I didn't grow up in a good family where there was love. I grew up in a family where they started freaking torturing me because I was speaking to Mother Night. Do you want to see the scars? I can show you. And she turns around and she lifts up her shirt and it is just covered in scars and welts and marks. And some look like slices, some look like as if there's chains that have hit her, as if there's been belt buckles. It looks like anything that they could get their hands on to hit her with, they did. I didn't grow up with falling down and somebody picking you back up and telling you everything was going to be alright. I grew up with slash, call the wicked. Hit, call the wicked. Whip, call the wicked. So much so that I literally thought that was my name. And it is my name.
It has nothing to do with how you grew up or anything like that. All I simply said was I didn't like the way how you were talking to me.
And see, this is the other... I've just explained to you. I did it nice. I said it kindly. I said it gently. It is frustrating to have to go over the same lesson over and over and over again.
But you haven't gone over it before, Amira. This is the first time I've talked about it.
Yes, I have. I have done it so many different ways. But
you haven't.
You don't see it. You don't see it. You don't learn it. You have had so many people tell you, be careful, stay safe. Hold on a second. Let's think about this. I don't think that's a good idea. These are all chances and remarks that other people have given you in a gentle nudge or in a kind, almost invisible way, it seems to be, of saying, Saya, please, stay alive, stay safe, think.
This has nothing to do about me with my actions, okay?
It has everything to do with your actions.
You're not listening to me. Someone else give the stick to someone else, because I'm tired of your talking, because you're not listening to what I have to say.
Saya, that's the funny thing. I am actually listening to what you're saying.
No, you're not.
Responding to what you're... I am listening to every word. I am taking in exactly what you're saying.
Get up.
You do not...
Walk over to Amira and take the stick, just gently, just like 1 second, and hand it to Serenity.
Yeah, no. You're going to take it. And I just look at you. And then I just, like, throw my hands up as if to just take it.
He's just gonna hand it over to Serenity.
That lasted for so long, I forgot what I was gonna say. Come back to me. You wanted it, Aurora? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. she'll gently take the stick. I was just going to go back to what was being said about us being a team. I know what's a harped on issue a lot here, but it's true. We do need to work together. We all know that. But with the infighting, if we let it continue, it will tear us apart from the inside. And then this place wins.
I hold my hand out for the stick.
She will turn her gaze to Amira,
Just to jump in really quickly, people will notice because it's not subtle at all.
Anyone else hear the DM?
Hello?
We did not hear any of that, Ellie.
Yeah.
You cut out
Oh, God.
after.
Real bad.
Oh,
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm just jumping in to say that this is a very obvious thing that everyone would
It's a Discord
see.
issue because I can see you blinking, but I can't hear anything you're saying. At least that's...
Oh, Discord issue. Okay.
no, I can't hear them either.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just gonna keep saying things and
Sounds like a
hope
pain
that
issue.
at some point, potentially, no idea. It's probably something we can figure out as long as I click a couple of buttons and figure out what's going on. What is wrong,
You
Discord?
sound better now.
What is wrong?
yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I was only...
New disc.
I have no idea. I'm assuming it's ping, and it's just kind of fluctuating. Okay, there we go.
Oh, somebody's put the talk ain't subtle. People can see /here.
So that was essentially where I left off. So because this, I just wanted to jump in to not interrupt the talk. I want the talk to carry on, but something that everyone would see because it's not subtle. Esmeralda was listening to the conversation and she was taking everything in. And then when it got to the point that essentially the two of you were like essentially yelling back and forth at each other, being like, "You're not listening. Yes, I am. You're not listening. Yes, I am." She stands up and leaves. Because with how small of a space the inside of this tower is, you could not miss her leaving.
May I follow then? Is there no offense to all of you? I don't know you as well, and she's hot, so yes, Serenity is going that way.
Don't worry, I was gonna ask if somebody could check on her anyways, so you're already at one step
Well,
ahead
I'm
of me.
making sure she's not just leaving, because right now we don't look like a very winnable group.
Yeah, same.
I don't
We're on
think
the
they're taking
same
a break.
page.
I think they're leaving, and I'm like, yeah, guys, you just fucked who I wanted to fuck already. All right? Yeah. I'm gonna be like, I want the stick back. Look, they're leaving. Never mind, I'm leaving. I will be back. It just walks away.
Although you will notice as a thing of practice, I'm going to put practice with a question mark. Esmeralda doesn't shut the door behind her.
Yeah, I won't close it. No, I'm not closing it. I don't want to interrupt. So you tell me when you want me to jump in for that conversation, or I don't want to. Wherever we want to continue.
Well, I've already interrupted the flow enough, so I'm going to hand back to the main group.
Saya's just gonna look at Amira and just go, hey. Okay. So I don't understand the whole when you rage you're mean type thing. I don't get it. And maybe someday I will. But I'm not talking about all that has happened. That's not what I'm trying to bring out. What I'm trying to say is I just see it that you know, I feel like I get the cold shoulder from you, the cold stares, and believe me, it may not show it, but I do care about you. I mean, I figured out where the hack was, didn't I? And I just I'm tired of you yelling at me or saying things that are not nice.
Saya,
What?
I wouldn't be saying these things if I didn't care. I'm sorry that they hurt your feelings. It's not really the intent. The intent is just to try to get you to understand how dangerous it is here. I want us all to come out of this unscathed, but I also know that's not likely. You've already suffered losses. I'm not willing to let it happen again. That's why I throw myself in the way of things for others. I'm made to take the punches. I'm made to be broken. I can take that. And again, no offense, and I do not mean this in a mean way, but you kind of look like a strong breeze could, yeah. That's not me being mean. That's just me saying, I know what my strengths are.
Out of character. I'm a marshmallow.
It was more like a stiff breeze would be enough to kind of like break you, is what she was trying to get at. But I know what my strengths are. I know I can take a hit and I can give a hit, and I can heal when needed. I can't heal you. My magic doesn't work on you. So maybe, yes, I am harder on you. Because I know if you did go down, I could do nothing. And that scares me. I can't help you when you go down, but I can help you while you're up. please. If the one thing you take away from this is just to be careful, just to be a bit more cautious, I'm fine with it, and you can hate me all you want. I'm not being mean to be spiteful. I'm doing it to try to protect you.
He's gonna look at Aurora.
Aurora just slowly holds up the talking stick between two fingers, like, I still had this. Everyone learns in a different way, and all I'll say is that names and words spoken out of frustration rarely get a message across, but being able to actually at least get along in a way, that's what we need as a team. You just looks at Amira, you do say a lot how you've grown up here, and I am by no means trying to say anything against that. Your advice has been very useful. I say it as a point, though. We shouldn't let... We shouldn't fall to our own infighting. Because then this place, and because then the person sitting in the castle waiting for us has won.
You all keep calling this a fight. This isn't a fight, this is a discussion.
It's a very intense discussion, then.
And the only reason I call it that is because when you fight to win. I'm not having this conversation to win. I'm having this discussion so we can work out a solution.
In any case, my point again is that by tearing each other apart in here, verbally, even if it's only verbally, it gives Strahd what he wants. It weakens all. If we're divided in here, how do we pose a united front to fight back? That's why we had to have Jack as the leader, because none of us could agree. We need to be able to at least resolve things, but I feel I'm going in circles here. I've made my point several times over. Just looks at Jack like, do you have anything to add to this?
Jack has been... He's taken a seat. He's... After getting the talking stick moving a little bit, he just took a seat, and you could see that his head is down. His hand is pretty much like grabbing the bridge of his nose, and he's just deep in... He's not looking at anyone as right now.
Poor Jack. I can imagine this poor Jack.
okay though? Captain or Captain?
Honestly speaking, no. I'm not okay. Because I know this group. We all have our own strengths. We all have our own weaknesses. I've seen them. One of the I see is of Wales, we have potential. I know we can do this. We can handle this. But it's right. If we're at each other's throats, if we are, I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way, but acting like kids.
Amira just holds her hand up.
Even if it's Azazel poking at us, trying to spur emotions. It's good to have them, don't get me wrong. They help inform us of what we're doing right and what we need to do. One of us already walked out. We need to be able to inspire hope and confidence that we can make a change in this world, to be able to rally people to our sides so we can. We can't do that if we are not an oiled machine. We cannot do that if people take one look at us and think, well, these people are just gonna go out there and die. No one in this party has it out for anyone else. Not Azazel, not Amira, not Saya, not Sonda. We all want us all to live. We all want to look out for each other. We all want to live. We all want to get out of this place. But to do that, we do have to be a team.
I wasn't trying to pick a fight or anything. What I simply was addressing was I'm tired of getting the cold shoulder. I'm tired of sometimes it feels like a mirror bites my head off. It has nothing to do with protection. It has nothing to do with fighting or even that you grew up here. Maybe no one else sees it, but I do. And if this is how it's going to be, then I'm out too. And on that note, Saya's going to leave the tower.
How far are you going?
She just wants to get out of there. She's not going to go far. She'll go onto like the side where no one else is. And she'll just kind of sit against the wall.
Sonder is absolutely going after her. Like, he sees that she's leaving, and he follows right behind her. He lets her get settled in wherever she needs to, and he sits right in front of her.
Okay. So, based on you going outside, this is what you would see. Esmeralda didn't go far. She simply just went to her caravan. She registers that Serenity came out after her, and she gives her a pleasant nod, like doesn't really acknowledge her, and just opens up the caravan.
We look pretty pathetic, don't we? I can't say we, I say they.
In all honesty, I don't think they're pathetic. I think they just have different communication styles, and that is breaking them.
Well, I couldn't say better myself. I was trying to get the talking stick to kind of communicate that, but then the talking stick kind of became invalid. I really hope they don't get rid of my talking stick. Sorry, distraction. It doesn't matter right now. How are you doing?
Oh, in all honesty, I'm doing pretty good. I am searching for... give me a second. And she essentially leans her entire body into the caravan and comes back out with a silk velvet pouch. Looks very much like a dice bag. Drawstring at the top and decent weight inside. But she takes it out, undoes the string, and you see that inside is a deck of cards.
Okay, I thought it was going to be something else, but I like where this is going.
She just keeps shuffling them as she's looking at you, like she's almost like absent-mindedly not even thinking about it. I have not been with this group very long. It's literally been less than 24 hours, and I am already seeing the potential but also the problems. But I am someone that's... No. I'm not someone who can throw my weight around and say, hey, from an outsider's perspective, if you just did this instead of this, it would be so much smoother. So, I took myself out.
That sounds exactly what this group needs. I kind of did that. I mean, I was told from somebody to come here and tell them what to do, but that's different. But this sounds like what they need right now, honestly.
Oh no,
I'm dying.
While there may be some members of the group that need it, there are definitely members of the group that will not want to hear it, and if it comes from an abrasive source, they're not going to take it. So for now...
Are you going to be abrasive?
If needs be. I also would like to live.
Also true.
But for now, I will leave them for their discussions. And they can hash it out, whatever it is they need to, in private. And for now, we will look at our cards. And at that point, she does one final shuffle, bridge style, with the cards folding up into her hands, and in one elegant movement, they snap back into the center.
Nice.
And she begins to draw them, Serenity, in a pattern that you have seen twice before. As she lays out the cards in the symbol of a cross and begins to read through them.
Where have you learned that?
Originally, my parents. It seems every Vistani encampment has some version of a Taraka deck.
That's also valid. So, what do they say? Am I gonna die tomorrow? Tonight? By someone I love?
No. But they have confirmed something. Which is very interesting.
Not ominous at all. Continue.
I'm not leaving.
Okay.
The cards have read it.
Were you going to? I thought you said you weren't.
Oh, no. I never planned on leaving immediately, but there is always the sense of survival instinct. Now, I know for a fact I cannot. And she holds up one of the cards to you. And again, it's a card that you have seen before. The Mists.
Okay.
This card refers to me.
Well. Okay.
The deck is telling me that I am supposed to be with your group. It's fated. So, even if I wanted to leave for the sake of saving my own skin, I cannot now. I know that I need to be here.
So, sorry, you're forced to be here?
It's not a force. If what you intend to do is true and you intend to go after Strahd, then I want to be here.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's all I just needed to know. I just wanted to make sure you weren't going to walk away. I'm not going to waste any more of your night. Finger guns. I'm going to make sure they don't kill each other. If they do, I'm probably not going to stop it.
That's fair enough. Just to let you know, I probably will. Just because, if I'm meant to be here, I don't want people dying.
That's fine. Zazel told me not to get involved when it comes to that. So I'm kind of following his lead right now. He isn't letting me astray. It doesn't work with a lot of people, so the fact that he put up with me tells me something. So I'm going to try to keep that in good reps.
Who is he to you?
Sorry, I'm dying. I'm still getting over something. We used to work together. We I was a what's the word? Partners in crime, if you will. We weren't ever really partners. I mostly got used, but he was the nicest person to me ever, and he looked out for me when I did smart things, and when I didn't, he would tell me I didn't do smart things, and 9 out of 10 times he was right. So I would say we're friends. He might not say that, but I appreciate him. He pulled me out of a really dark circle.
Fair enough. Well, for now, I'm going to wait for them to finish whatever it is they're finishing, and then we will go from there.
Okay. Bye.
She gives you a little wave as you leave.
Yep. I'm sidestep, give a big wave. Please tell me I run straight into Saya.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
Because the conversation wouldn't be that long.
Technically, you would run into Sonder because Sonder's back is to.
Well, no, I thought when they
He's
walked
right
out the
in front
door,
of-
I was walking in. I thought we would just both walk into each other.
I mean, technically, because of Saya's
did you
ability,
get out
she
the door
could
or
just
no?
walk through you.
That's also valid. I thought it'd be funny, but Saya could ruin it for me.
I mean, yeah, I can bump into you. Sure. Let's try it.
Yeah. It's my first time. I'm sorry the way you said it. Oh, shit. Good walking away, bad walking away.
What do you think?
I try not to.
Sonder would just pipe up from behind Saya. We just need a little bit of air, is all.
Okay. Don't forget, guys, we're gonna kill Strahd. We're gonna do this when you okay? I'm gonna walk by now. I'm just gonna walk by. Is my stick still alive?
Aurora, hold up the stick.
Thank you. I guess it didn't work.
Not at all.
Well, I'm gonna
Hands
keep it
back.
for future conversations, just in case.
Always. And she'll pass it back.
I'll take it. I'd have a little special pocket in my bag.
I guess, Sonder, it would fill you with a little bit of ease to see that Esmeralda hasn't left. She's just sitting in, like, what would essentially be like the driver's bench of her caravan. And it seems that she's looking over something intently.
It definitely, like, he lets out a sigh of relief. 100%. He takes note of where she is, and he's like, okay, after I finish talking with both Saya and Amira, then I'm gonna go talk to her. See how she's doing, type of thing. But he definitely... I would say, instead of sitting in front of Saya, he would sit next to her. And he would just let her breathe for a little bit. That was a very intense conversation with some yelling, and feelings are very big right now. So he's just letting the air still for a moment. A couple deep breaths before he takes Saya's hand and gives it a comforting squeeze.
Yeah, after the breaths that she took, she looks at Sonder holding her hand and just kind of goes, I wasn't trying to start anything. I really was just addressing the way she talks to me. Because I don't like getting insulted by her. I don't like how she's nice to everyone else, but it seems like she's not nice to me. And then she goes and brings up the past and fighting when I wasn't even addressing that. I know how to heal myself now if I need to.
He definitely kind of like wiggles his arm a little bit, and makes like a come hither motion with his arms open. And he wants to hug her, but he doesn't know if she would be reciprocal to that. So he's waiting for the signal, TM.
She will, she's hesitant at first. She doesn't do anything, and then she'll do a sigh and she'll just kind of lean in and put her head on his shoulder.
He'll wrap his arm around her shoulders and kind of give her a bit of a comforting squeeze. I truly understand where you're coming from. It's not nice to be called names or even berated when it's meant in jest, or if it's a joke that goes over your head, or if it's even being friendly. Especially in a bit of a compromising situation with life or death hanging in the balance. I truly get that. I mean, I wouldn't enjoy it either. It just escalated a lot. And when things get big like that, hurtful words can be said when they're not meant. And trust and friendships can be broken in an instant. I'm not saying what you did was wrong. You have every right to stand up for yourself and to ask to be addressed differently. It was very brave of you to do so in the first place. Most people have trouble talking about their feelings, but you are doing a good job so far. You're still learning. You're stumbling and falling and picking yourself back up. But you're learning. And I'm very proud of you. He kind of like nuzzles the bridge of his nose into the top of her head.
All it's done so far is get me into trouble.
It's just the fact that both of you don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And everything looks different from somebody else's perspective. So, the point that Amira was bringing up earlier, that you were saying that you didn't quite understand the fact that she was bringing up a lot. The reason that she was being quote-unquote harsh with you, which I will talk with her after, because I personally don't think that is the right course of action. And I think she's just been very frustrated. But that doesn't mean it gives her a pass for saying things to you. Both of you want the same thing. Both of you want to protect each other, to look out for each other. It's just coming off wrong. I am not the best at communicating myself. Humanoids tend to be very confusing creatures at the best of times. And sometimes things don't come out the way that you want them to. And sometimes you say things without realizing the impact that they have on other people. And that's not fun for anybody. So you have a right to be upset. You are valid in your feelings, and you are allowed to feel what you're feeling. Nobody can ever take that from you. But I do believe that there was a fundamental misunderstanding between the two of you. Completely unintentionally. You just happened to... You both don't really pick up on each other's body language. Or you might see it and might think of it and attribute it to something else. But I think you're both misreading each other. I agree with what Amira said in the fact that we protect each other, that we care about each other. We all do. And we care about you. And we want you to be safe. And we want you to think things through before they happen. I mean, that's... I could say that for everybody in our group. I care about everybody. And I want them to think twice before they do something. Or ask for a second opinion. Because 5 heads is better than 1. So... Even if it's not the best advice, it's still better to have more than one opinion. But... Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, she's just making a sound. She's just kind of like processing what he's saying.
Got you, okay. I didn't want to talk over you by accident.
No, you're good, you're good.
I can also empathize with her own frustration as well as yours. I can see from her perspective that it is frustrating when things don't go correctly or things don't go in the most optimal way. And sometimes, yes, that is because someone said or did something that they weren't supposed to, or that something slipped and a snarky comment came out, or they made an action that was not necessary. And I get that. And he kind of like ruffles the top of her hair a little bit. You're a little bit of a firecracker when you want to be. You have a sharp tongue.
Yeah, I guess I do. Mm.
It was not correct for Amira to call you stupid. I don't exactly enjoy that myself. There are better ways to handle a situation. And I don't think it was right of her to call you that.
I don't really, truly wish for her to get eaten by the hag or anything like that. She wasn't listening to me. She never listens to me.
She was understanding where you were coming from. She just doesn't I guess you have a problem with not being able to see a larger picture. You're very one-track mind when it comes to things. You're very focused on one thing or the other. That's mostly where your line of thinking goes. And Amira is better at seeing the larger picture of things, the battle map, or the ways to get from point A to point Z. She has a better conceptualization of things. And that's where your two points of view clash. Because while you are more focused on the name calling and the feeling iced out of a situation, you aren't completely entitled to those feelings. But I think you were struggling to realize Amira was telling you the reason why she was acting the way she was. And it wasn't a spontaneous event. It's been happening since we first adopted her into the group. And for her perspective, this has been happening a lot. And she's been seeing this happen a lot and trying to fix it and not having the results or having her thoughts or feelings misconstrued was getting very frustrating. So I can see why she was upset and frustrated. She is truly looking out for you. She does care about you. Amira just doesn't have the best way of showing it sometimes. And I believe that she's been trying. And for some reason or another, that just hasn't worked out. Either you miss the signals that she's trying to send you, or she's not making it clear enough for you. But for some reason, you both have missed each other's signs. And that's okay. That happens all the time. Misunderstandings are a part of language, and a part of, for the lack of a better term, a human experience. It happens to everybody. Tensions are just so high right now that it just got out of hand. But she does truly care about you. And she does, whether I like it or not, put herself on the front lines for us. She does worry about you. She just has a hard time expressing that through a way that she thinks you would understand. If that makes any sense.
A funny way of showing it. I meant what I said. This is how it's gonna be. I don't think I want to be in a group like this. Not if it's constantly getting yelled at or lectured for something. I know I'm young. I know I'm young, but I'm not young. And I guess in everyone's eyes, I should be an adult by now, and I'm not. But I know enough that I don't like the way she's treating me. And it's already hard living like this from day to day. I can take care of myself. I just don't. I don't like being called stupid. I don't like getting yelled at. I don't like getting the cold shoulder from her. It hurts. It kind of hurts to see her being nice with everyone else, and then when it comes to me, I get a rock thrown at me for some reason. It's almost like if she does care, she doesn't show it because I feel like she really likes me, and I already don't even consider her a friend because of that. I'd rather just go back to the tavern. It's a tavern. There's no hotels in this world yet. I'd rather go back to the tavern and just stay there while you guys fight Strahd or whatever. Because it's gotta be better than what I'm facing now anyway.
Sonder kind of gives her a little bit of a raised eyebrow. It's very questioning. Trust me when I say that having somebody, I'm not saying Amira does this, but having somebody say bad things about you, or call you names, or look down on you, is better than being tortured in a dungeon. It is better than having your blood drained. It is better than becoming a vampire. It is better than hoofing it out in the wild and doing everything by yourself, scared that you were going to be ripped apart by werewolves. I understand that you're hurt. Trust me, I do. I understand that the situation is not ideal. And I understand Amira can be harsh at times. But please don't say that this is worse. Because that is fundamentally not true. She cares about you. She does. Even if it's not in her words, it's in her actions. The way she covers your blind spots. The way she always makes sure to have you in eyesight. Just in case. She does care. Amira, well, as you saw, has not really had a kind hand held out to her before Madame Eva. Her love map is all over the place. It's not very well charted. So she has a bit of a hard time expressing that. And her showing her fangs, puffing up to look scary, is her way of trying to be protective of you. That doesn't make it right that she said hurtful things. That's not what I'm saying. But because of this conversation, because of the conversation that was in the tower, we have better insight on how both you and Amira think about the situation. That is more information. So with this information, we can come to an agreement. I kind of inserted myself as the messenger because I care about you and I care about Amira like you were both my own. And if I have a chance to be able to clear the air and be able to inform both you and her of things that maybe you don't see, we can solve this and everything will be alright. And nobody is leaving.
And she'll just give a deep sigh. Fine, but I'm not going back in anytime soon. I'm staying out here until I have to go to bed.
And that is completely fine. As long as you stay within the perimeter of the tower, that's alright. You can stay here. You can do whatever you need to. Whatever makes you feel better. Whatever helps the situation. But please come back when the sun starts to set.
Fine. I will.
Thank you. And he presses a kiss to the top of her head.
She just kind of swats at him to go away.
He'll stand up and kind of like brush off his pants. And he'll go back into the tower, keeping the door open, and he's gonna go find Amira.
Okay. while Sonda and yes, because Sonda and Sarah will have been out there for a while. I know that Serenity's gone back in because she got the talking stick from Aurora. Is there anything else that is happening with anyone else?
If nobody's gonna like grab a mirror and talk to her, like a mirror will just start cooking the wolf meat.
Alright then. Yeah, because Esmeralda's going to stay outside because there's no reason for her to come back in. So, yeah. Unless there's anything that Jack and Aurora and Serenity wish to do.
I'm good.
It's one thing Jack would like to do.
Shoot.
Get up. To go outside. Talk to, the name just slipped my mind entirely. Esmeralda.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to take a look at their leg. He wants to take it apart.
Don't touch my woman.
So you begin to walk towards
See how
her.
it's made.
Yeah, you begin to walk towards her, Jack, and she does, she acknowledges you walking towards her, but you see the same thing that Sonda does, that she's looking at something intently down on the bench next to her. And as you get closer, she holds up a strip of cardboard. So, Mr. Silvertongue, when were you going to tell me that you'd gotten a Tarkata reading?
That you'd gotten a what?
Tarkata reading.
Is that an important... I'm sorry, but I didn't know that was a very important thing to be sharing with people.
It is when I'm a part of it.
Was that important?
And she holds up the card that you have seen before. The one that Madame Ava, like, pointed at to be like, this is an ally that you're going to get. And she does have a serious expression on her face, but it breaks almost immediately to, like, a small smile. She goes, no worries. I'm not upset. I just want to know who gave you the reading first.
Lead it a bit more. There's a Vistani camp that we've been at. Madame Ava, I believe her name was.
There's like a flash of recognition from Esmeralda. She goes, oh. Ava is good stock, good folk. Well, I was saying the same to your friend, and points, like, back into the tower, so you're assuming she means Serenity. Oh, if you were worried about me leaving this, and she holds up that card again, that means you're stuck with me.
Well, that is a good sign then, because I thought for a fact you wouldn't be leaving.
Oh no, I
I'm
was
stuck with you. I mean, that is a blessing in disguise.
Oh no, I was just aware that I was in a space that I was not needed, so I gave them space. I have enough emotional maturity to realize that a situation is beyond my expertise.
don't want me taking up too much of your time, depending on whatever you want to do. But I was hoping to see if I could ask for a favor.
You are more than welcome. What can I do?
If take a look at your leg.
I'm assuming you mean the metallic half.
Yes, very much so.
Such a shame.
Fortunately, I'm not that. I got other people in mind. So, I wanted to say, I don't want to be rude or anything like that. You are fantastic looking. Just dude, this is. What?
And she actually, like, it's a chuckle, but it's the closest to a giggle that you've heard in a very long time. Jack, trust me, you're pretty, but I'm fine.
Fantastic, because
But it doesn't stop me from having a joke. But are you sure you want? Are you sure you're wanting to step down for the day? I mean, it is only midday right now.
Until everyone else is ready to go. Yes. They
No,
need time to cool off.
No, that's actually fair enough. In that case then, of course, and she does the same thing again where like she releases like the side clasps and just twists her leg off and hands it to you.
Jack will take her leg, and he's not going to be going out of sight or anything like that with it. He's just going to take off his jacket and lay it down onto the actual ground to put the leg on top of, to give himself a nice flat plane where he's not going to be losing any of the parts or anything like that.
To be fair, from her perch, from on like the carriage bench, she does start talking you through like at least the rudimentary stuff that she understands. But she's very honest with you in the sense of like, I had the leg custom built for me. I'm not going to pretend I understand what that is.
But he's just gonna take it apart to where he's comfortable with. If it's completely fantastic, he's not gonna be trying to go past farther what he's comfortable with, because he needs this person to have a second leg.
Make Tinker's Tools check for me. A very rare Tinker's Tools. Or Blacksmith Tools, or whatever tools you've got on you.
I can actually make Tinker's Tools. Do I have Tinker's Tools? I know I have Smith Tools on me.
Because
we'll make Tinker's Tools. I'll
Yeah,
spend an
because
hour
of
making Tinker's Tools.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So we'll say that for an hour you do that. And you have to, because the intricacy of the clockwork and the cog work, this is past smithing and is very much like when you see a cross section of like a really intricate Swiss watch. That is the inner mechanism of her leg.
I don't know. So we'll actually spend an hour and create a pair of Tinker's Tools. And then take this apart.
Yeah? Yeah, just make a... We'll say that this is an intelligence check, but with your proficiency bonus using the Tinker's Tools.
Alrighty. Intelligence checks, my proficiency bonus +4. And I will use a Flash Genius on this just because I can.
Because I can, therefore I will.
Why?
Okay. With a 34, admittedly, this is something that you have never seen before. But with your work with King, a lot of the basic mechanisms are second nature to you. And then through Esmeralda's teachings and her talking through like the bits that she understands, everything else falls into place to the point that you're actually able to fully deconstruct it. You look like that kid on Christmas that absolutely demolishes like a grandfather clock. Cogs completely surrounding you, everything taken apart, to the point that Esmeralda's even there, like, do you think you can put it back together? And you do, in about half the time. And I will say with that 34, we're going to need to off-stream talk about some potential things for King.
Fantastic.
Because why wouldn't you get inspiration from the thing that is dissected in front of you? Okay, so that is Jack disposed for 2 hours. Aurora, is there anything in particular that you're doing?
Once she's sure that everybody kind of has started to settle, she would probably settle like somewhere nearby herself and kind of just start drawing, or at least looking through her work, just kind of keeping an eye on everyone.
Okay. So we've got Amira smoking meat. We have Jack tinkering away on a leg. Yeah, I'll say that Sonda, you have your conversation with Saya. And then you come in and essentially you refocus after the conversation. Like, all of your attention was on Saya. And then when you lift your head back up, Esmeralda's missing a leg, Jack's on his knees looking at something on the floor. You look back through the door and Amira is smoking the wolf meat. And like everyone is kind of like separated to do their own thing.
Interesting. Okay. He definitely sees Jack and Esmeralda, and he kind of puts 2 and 2 together, like, oh, he's taking a look at her leg because he said he wanted to do that before. He's like, okay, cool. So they're talking, they're having a great time. How is Amira smoking the meat? Because I don't remember if, like, I know there's probably a hearth in there, but is she using that, or how is she actually cooking it?
If there isn't a hearth in there, she's definitely like gone outside around the back to start cooking it. But if there's like a fire inside, like a fireplace or a hearth or whatever, then she'll use that. So DM's discretion.
Let me relook at the diagram that I have for the tower. Because that'll tell me more. And I'll be able to tell you more.
Understandable.
Yay! There isn't a fireplace. So you're going to have to go out back and almost do it like wood smoke.
Yep, that's fine. Would walk out, obviously see that they're probably out the front, and would just... Is it called kissing your teeth? Just kiss the teeth and just like walk around to the back.
Yeah, it doesn't take you long to build a fire. And you essentially create your own like little rotisserie spit. So you're making sure that it's evenly getting smoked, it's getting cured, it's going to have a natural smokiness to it just because of the way that you're cooking. But you be in the 2 hours that I'm going to need to check this because I, as a chef, do not know how long it takes to smoke meat. But once I've done a little quick Google, I will let you know after the 2 hours how much
2
you
hours for
have.
small pieces like chicken wings.
Mm,
Over 20 hours for a large brisket.
okay.
Probably like 4 to 8.
Yeah, because these are steaks that you're essentially doing it. So yeah, you're probably halfway through like the first steak.
Oh no, Amira is smart. She would have made like some kind of grid or something, or had like
Yeah, I'm
been able
happy.
to wrap them, because that is it's like the old ways of being able to like smoke them in like the ground like carefully.
Yeah, I'm happy to retcon that that's a thing that you do. So, Sander, you see that Amira isn't inside, don't know where they are. You walk around the back, and that's where you find them.
Got you. He definitely is like mid stride. And then he sees that she's like tending to a fire, and he kind of just. He doesn't trip, but he does kind of stop a bit abruptly. A little bit of the wind has been taken out of his sails. Um, and he kind of takes just a moment of a mental pep talk. And he's like, okay, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. You can do this, don't worry about it, it's fine. He just takes a deep
Are
breath.
you coming over or not?
His ears kind of flatten out a little bit. And he gives him a very sheepish smile. Yes, I, I wanted to talk to you, but, if you're busy,
thought you
I
would.
can come back later.
I'm not busy at all. I'm just staying by the fire.
He gives her a bit of a nervous nod. And
You want me
he
to move away?
that's actually a good question. If it won't burn anything, that would be preferable.
No, these things have got to be here for like 3, 4 more hours. Smoking them takes a long time.
He'll just kind of nod and wait for her to move, and he will go to her.
Yep, we'll move away from the fire.
As soon as they're kind of like situated a little bit away, um, his posture relaxes a little bit more. And Amir can basically see the like relieved sigh that he lets out afterwards. I just that was a lot, and I wanted to check up on you and see how you were feeling.
Frustrated.
gives her a nod.
A little angry, but I'm always a little angry.
I understand where you're coming from. And I don't blame you. Your feelings are valid. And you're allowed to feel however you need to, or however you are. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. But I do think you and Saya are misunderstanding each other.
Yeah, because
And
she only hears what she wants to hear. She doesn't actually listen to what's being said.
she has a very, for the lack of a better term, a one-track mind. Where she has her eyes set on something, or she has something in her head, and she clings on to that. And it's a bit hard to divert that focus from that one point. So while her main concern was the calling of names and the feeling a little bit left out and feeling like you weren't really happy to see her, that's all she could really focus on. Because that, to her, is the crux of the problem. So,
That's not the crux of the problem, though.
Yeah.
because that was more important, really, and I talked to her, and I tried to reiterate a little bit more clearly, with a outsider's perspective on the situation. And it helped a little bit. She's still upset. But I think before anything happens, any further conversation happens, I wanted to say that I understand where you're coming from. I do. I've seen it this entire time. And maybe it's because I've gotten to know you more. Or maybe I'm just better at reading people or the situation. But I understand that you do care for her. That you're just looking out for her. And you're trying to do what is best for her. And I truly do understand how frustrating it can get when your point isn't landing, so to speak. Or something is just not clicking. And it's hard. It's very hard, especially with somebody that is very headstrong. Saya is very opinionated. And
Saya is lucky to be alive. That's not me being mean or making a threat. It is purely an observation. I understand that she's got trauma, and I understand that she's upset. But what frustrates me the most is that she asked why I was doing what I was doing. I gave her an explanation, and I told her why. And she still couldn't seem to move past that first roadblock.
That, I think, is because she's looking, instead of for that explanation first, from what I understand, what she was looking for was more of a apology.
Why would I apologize when I'm trying to protect her?
I
When I'm
understand.
actually putting her safety above my own.
That's not the part. This is, and he kind of puts his hands up. This is what's happening. That both of you are fundamentally misunderstanding the situation. Because if you understand that Saya is hurt by the name calling, what we do from there is we apologize for that and we correct that behavior so she is satisfied. That she understands that this is now not an issue and it won't happen again. So once that is resolved, then that opens the door up to the further conversation.
But why is it all about her?
She is not making it... How do I phrase this? When she started this conversation, it was just a, please don't talk to me like that. I don't like the way that you talk to me. And he looks at Amira, and it is very open. He's not hiding anything. I personally don't agree with the name calling. Personally, I don't care for it. And I can understand from Saya's perspective why it's hurtful. And I can understand from your perspective why it's out of frustration and it's not meant to be hurtful.
I don't remember ever calling her names.
You did call her stupid.
When?
Just earlier, actually. The day before.
Did I tell her she was stupid, or did I tell her to stop being stupid?
You called her, quote, stupid girl. And that's hurtful language. And I can understand why you were frustrated by that. And it's okay to be frustrated with that.
Okay, completely out of character. Like, what was the situation around that?
Okay, so out of character, it was when she walked through Van Richten.
Right, okay.
And Amira was like, why did you do that? What kind of point were you trying to make? And Saya's like, I was going to do something and I decided not to. And that's when Amira called her, in quotes, you stupid girl. In a very condescending, angry tone of voice.
Okay, alright.
I can understand that the situation was stressful and frustrating. But language like that doesn't help anybody. And I think the first step to both of you reaching an understanding is for that to be absolved. For this book, this chapter of this book to be closed. Which means, even if it's just out loud, please don't call her that. And understand that it's not... She's not doing this on purpose. Or to be frustrating. She's not purposefully making things difficult. But that phrase and that tone, please understand that it's hurtful. And if you said that to me, regardless of the circumstances, I would also be hurt.
But I wouldn't say it to you.
That's not my point. I understand that... How do I put this? Do you remember the first time that your parents called you evil?
It's pretty much the only thing I can remember.
But the first time, that stab of betrayal, that lingering hurt, the feeling of being scared, of not being able to trust them, that's what Say is feeling.
I don't remember the first time. It's all I've known.
Amira, you're not understanding what I'm trying to say.
No, I do. I'm just... I shouldn't have said it. It was mean. It was spiteful. It wasn't helpful. I didn't think. And I said it out of frustration. I understand that. I do. I don't purposefully wake up to be mean. I try to be better. I try to be happy. I try. And I keep trying so hard. With Saya. And it's just frustrating. And it comes to the point where it's like, do I literally have to fall on my sword for her to understand? Do I have to physically not intervene so she can understand the consequences?
That's... How do I put this? What you just said to me before, that first part, about you understanding that what was said was out of anger and frustration, and that didn't make it right. You need to say that to her, not to me. I understand where that frustration is coming from, and I understand how difficult it is for you to be, for the lack of a better term, open about this and show care like this. And I understand it feels like it's being thrown back in your face.
What it feels like is that it's actually dangerous.
There is only so much we can do for somebody.
No, I mean, it physically feels like I am putting myself in danger when I am being nice.
Kind of like tilts his head a little bit at that. Can you, elaborate a little bit? I'm not exactly following your line of thinking.
It's hard to explain. And I'm gonna try my best because honesty. It never really mattered what I did. Or how I acted. I still got hit. And after a while of thinking, well, if I'm nicer, if I'm quieter, if I do as I'm told, if I could be the most perfect version of myself, I won't get hurt. Then I did. My parents kicked me out because the beatings weren't working. Because I had gotten bigger and I had started to try to fight back. So I learned that the meaner I was, the more I was protecting myself. And because I was meaner and bigger, it was safer.
So you... That's what you meant. Okay. It feels dangerous. And like you're becoming vulnerable. Showing that kindness, extending that kindness to somebody. And I understand. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that. And I'll say it forever. You didn't deserve any of that treatment. And I understand where that instinctual urge to bite back comes from. And I'm going to say something, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way. This is from my own experience on the matter. But you are not your trauma. Your trauma is something bad that happened to you. But it does not control you. You are responsible for your actions regarding your trauma. So I understand, I deeply, deeply understand where you are coming from in what you are saying to me. And I understand that it's hard, and it feels like you're taking off your breastplate and you're giving her a dagger. I get that. But there comes a certain point where you have to take control. And you cannot live in fear. You cannot let it win. And it's going to snarl. And it's going to yell and scream at the top of your lungs that this isn't right, this is how you get hurt, and this is how you will die. But that's not going to happen. It might feel like you're standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down at a sheer drop. And you're scared and you're terrified and you don't know what's going to happen. But you have to take that leap of faith. Otherwise, you are going to live in fear for the rest of your life. Obviously, that is easier said than done, and it's not a snap of your fingers and it goes away type of thing. Because it never goes away. It's always going to be in the back of your head, clawing and screaming, no matter how hard you try. But eventually that voice gets quieter. Quieter, you don't hear it as much. It's not as bothersome. It's still there and you'll still hear it, but it doesn't have that influence over you anymore. So I understand why you're frustrated, why you feel trapped and you feel scared. But I can also see from Saya's perspective how it's hurtful. I'm not going to preach and bother you and make decisions for you or try to force you into something that you don't want to do. So
She
I'm
looks
going
really confused at that.
I'm going to get off my soapbox. I'm going to leave you to think. And we are going to redo this conversation. With an open mind. An understanding that there is no animosity here. She does not hate you. And you do not hate her. You're both so confused and wrapped up in your own trauma that it is hard to see from the other person's perspective.
I never said I hated her.
I did not hear that. What was that?
I never said I hated her.
I understand that's not how you feel. But she doesn't.
So she hates me?
No. She thinks that you hate her. Regardless of your intentions, the way that you've come off lately has pushed her away. It has made her think that you don't like her, that you don't see her as an ally or something. She's hurt.
That's kind of true. And it's, when she says it, it's more in a sad way, not in like a mean or like a bitchy way. I guess that is kind of true.
That you don't see her as an ally?
Obviously, on the surface level, yes, she is an ally. She is a friend. She is somebody I'll protect. But I think... like, you can see she's really thinking and she's really kind of like internalizing and trying to figure things out. Because, again, she's only 15. She hasn't had much guidance here. So she's trying.
She is doing her best.
Yeah. Trying TM.
We are both kids. It's okay.
Your kid has a lot more experience than mine.
Saya looks like Saya looks like an adult, but she's not.
You're both 15 at heart. And maturity, it's fine.
I think I got so worried about protecting her that ally became more of a secondary adjective to describe her. I don't really know what the first one would be. But it's definitely something good.
Interesting.
You keep saying that like we're part of your... Wait, do you say pack or herd? What's the word that you use?
He most of the time uses pack, but
Pack.
it's definitely interchangeable.
You said like part of a pack, which is like you look after everybody in it. So maybe I think of her as more as somebody that needs to be protected. And not so much somebody who is doing the protecting. Like an ally. Does that make sense?
I think I understand what you're trying to say.
In the way that some people... in a way like some people go out to get the items, you send certain people out to do that, but then you have certain people to sell the items. The collectors and the sellers. And the collectors go out and they collect things, and then they bring it back. And then the sellers are the ones that deal with the people. The collectors are the ones that risk more. And I think instead of viewing Sarah as a collector, I'm viewing her as a seller. Because how how can she collect when it's too much of a risk? To her, not to anybody else. But we don't send children or elderly to collect because we're worried that they're viewed as an easy target
I
and could get hurt. So they usually are the sellers because it's safer.
I think the reason why you're stuck on that is because I'm not saying this in a bad way, but you see her as fragile. You see her as somebody who can't fight back or who can't take a hit.
I know she can. I've seen her do it, but I'm worried she won't get back up again. Because I can't heal her. Aurora can't heal her. You're the only one that can. And you can't constantly be with her.
And
So what happens if you're not there? Who helps her then? How do they help her?
the knowledge that because of past actions, she's. I was gonna say nerfed, and I was like, that's not a word that Sandra would use. Um, understand that because of certain actions that have happened in the past, it makes things harder. But we cannot predict everything. And just like a bird, we can't keep Saya in a cage.
I don't want to keep her in a cage.
You think of her as a glass cannon.
I don't know what that means.
Something that hits very, very hard. But if it gets hit, it breaks.
Then yeah, I guess that's probably the best way of describing it.
But Saya needs room to breathe and to grow. Keeping her in that little pocket mind. She does need to be protected, obviously. But not in such a stifling way. If that makes any sense.
Is that what it's been? I didn't think it was stifling. I'm just.
I am
guess
not.
it's just always thought she wasn't grasping, just how bad this place is, the gravity of this situation.
She does know. I can tell you that. It's just that this is
Then why
new.
doesn't she act like it?
This is new. All of this. Having friends, having feelings, having the freedom to be who she is. She's never had that before. When you shove your feelings down so far that you can't even tell where they come from or how they got there, it's so overwhelming. It's like stepping into a bright sunlit day after being in the ground for 5 years. God, it's so overwhelming. It's so new. You don't know how to handle yourself. You don't know how to use these feelings in your chest. And they just happen. They come out, and you have no control over it anymore. Say has been muted her entire life. These feelings are all-encompassing for her.
But in the same way that my history and my trauma doesn't give me a free pass.
There's no free pass for anybody. That's not the correct way to look at any of this.
I'm trying to find the words and it's tricky.
She has that aspect where her emotions cloud her judgment. And that is something that she has to actively work on to overcome. And it is not going to be a snap of her fingers. It's not going to happen in a few days. It's going to take weeks. It's going to take months, maybe years, for her to fully grasp. She doesn't know how to wield these emotions yet.
The emotions aren't... I guess they aren't.
That is the reason why she makes the decisions that she does. Because she is not seeing the reason of the situation. She is going solely off of her own emotions. That is something that she needs to learn how to deal with. That is not your place. It is not your job, I should say.
Well, whose job is it then?
Her own. We can be there to guide her. She's not going to do it alone, obviously. But we need to nudge her in the right direction. Yes, it might be frustrating. And, gods, it's terrifying. When she ran out into the dead of night, and we saw her at the foot of the tree with the scarecrows, that was terrifying. I'm not going to deny that. But constantly reprimanding her or using very strong negative language is not going to help. You need to have a gentler hand. And it needs to be not thrown in her face constantly. Because when somebody is improving or trying to improve, doing their best, and all they get is criticism, that's going to knock them down. They need encouragement as well. They need a little bit of a pick-me-up. They need a, "You're doing really well. I love what you did when this happened. But next time, try this instead. This thing that happened wasn't your fault, but maybe try this instead. I understand why you did X, Y, or Z, but next time, why don't we talk it through first? There's no blaming. There's no derogatory terms. There's no pressure. You need to lead her through the open door, not try to push her through it. So when this type of thing happens, again, because it will, something does happen where you don't see eye to eye, it needs to come from a level of understanding first. I see why you did this thing and thought it was preferable at the time. But why don't we take a step back next time? Maybe wait a couple of seconds for those emotions to pass so we can think a little bit clearer and take the situation in better. Or even explaining why that was the, I don't want to say wrong move, but not the correct option to make. Because words mean things. Even if we don't realize it. The tone, the delivery, the even choice of wording can mean a lot to somebody. Especially if they're confused or if they're very, very emotional. And it's hard. Especially for you. Don't take this the wrong way, but you're also still a child.
I'm aware.
This is a lot. And it can be overwhelming for you too. So when you're feeling like that, if you feel like you're going to say something that might be mean, or even if you say something and you realize that that didn't come out the way that you wanted to, you can take a step back. Remove yourself from the situation. So you yourself can regulate to come back to your baseline before you address the situation. Or, if you realize that you have said something, all you have to do is, I'm sorry, that did not come out how I wanted it to. I'm going to rephrase that. Because everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is going to be perfect. And things like this happen. Misunderstandings, crossed wires, feelings are messy. They're turbulent. This is what it means to be human. And that's okay. But we cannot let it blind us. We need to have an open heart and an open mind. So the next time we talk, something hard comes up, we have a better understanding on how to deal with things like this. And as long as both of you try, and you communicate openly That's all we can ask. Is that you try. And you be kind. And you be open.
But it's so dangerous here. It's dangerous. Be open and vulnerable.
I understand. And that's why, just like for Seiya, you cannot snap your fingers and be open. It's going to take time and reassurance and justification and validation and feeling safe with the people around you. You aren't going to be the best of friends right away anyways. But all we can ask is that both of you try to understand each other and realize that none of this comes from malice. You're not trying to hurt each other. Things like this take time, and that's okay. But the air needs to be cleared. And this should not happen again. If things get heated, I'm going to say the same thing to Seiya. If things get heated, you step away. You say, I'm having a hard time articulating my feelings, or I'm getting frustrated, and I need to put a pin in this so I can think more clearly and I don't hurt your feelings by accident. Communication is the key to any relationship. Whether that's platonic, romantic, familiar, or familial.
Yeah, when you say romantic, she scrunches up her nose like icky.
Even if it's an acquaintanceship. Any relationship you have needs communication to work. Even if things are confusing, it's okay to take a step back and reevaluate. It's okay to not know how to handle the situation. But as long as you say what you mean and mean what you say, things get a lot easier. Sonder kind of just puts his hands on her shoulders and just gently rubs his thumbs into like the tendons by her clavicle.
They are tense.
It's been a lot of information and a lot of very, very heavy feelings. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let you settle, feel your feelings, and go over the situation. Would you like me to give you space? Or would you like me to be nearby?
Space, please.
All right. And he bends down and kisses her forehead.
Her lower lip starts to tremble.
gives her shoulders a very hearty squeeze. I still love you, and I'm not mad at you. This doesn't change that. I will be here whenever you need me. Call my name and I will come running. You are worthy, and you are loved, no matter what.
Her eyes get very glassy.
He kind of like preemptively like uses the back of his thumb to wipe at her cheek.
She flinches a little. But then she like very hesitantly comes back so that your thumb does touch her touch her face.
I'm going to leave you be for now. But I will be around the corner. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask.
She's trying really hard not to cry, so she just nods.
He gives her a very sad, understanding smile. And he lets go. And he turns to walk away. But before he does fully, he kind of pauses and stops. And he looks up at her, and in Elvish, he says, "You are very important to me, and this changes nothing. I'm going to be here if you ever need me, forever. Have a good night, little one." And that's when he turns to leave.
She watches him leave because as soon as he does and he's out of eyesight and earshot, she will just break down crying. But we'll move back over to the pit to make sure that she can keep an eye on the food so it's not wasted.
Okay. Is there anything that anyone wishes to do for the rest of this day that we haven't already talked about? Or are you quite happy to say that you pass the day and go to sleep without having too many interactions?
Obviously, when the sun goes down, just as she's promised, I will go back in. Kind of take a spot near Aurora. Draw. Trance. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Sonder definitely makes his rounds, makes sure that everyone's doing all right. Is very happy to see when Esmeralda does come back in, when they all get settled down for bed. He waits until Amira comes back in, and he saved like a spot next to him for her. And he definitely waits until she's all settled in and okay before he actually goes to sleep.
Well, that kind of scuppers me a little bit. Because Amira's gonna only come back in to like drop off the meat so that it's done, and they're all in like nice parcels with like everybody's name written on them, and they are all written very nicely. But she'd go back outside, and I don't think she'd come back in until after dark. Reason being is because she wants to try to pray to Mother Night. Just to see if there is anybody out there listening.
Mm-hmm.
Because she currently feels very unsure and very alone.
Make a religion check for me.
Nope. Very alone.
Tonight in the sky. It's almost the night of a new moon. There is the tiniest bit of a slither casting some light down on the night. But realistically, there isn't a lot of her presence here today. And you don't know whether that's the reason. You're not entirely sure. But you don't... It's not that you don't feel anything, but you also don't feel something either. But your prayers don't go answered. But that means that Amira, you'll come back in later. Xander will still be awake, waiting for you to come in.
It's clear she's been probably crying all day.
He just gives her a small smile and pats the spot next to him. And you can see there's already a bedroll laid out. And it's handmade, so you know it's Saunders.
Yep, she'll go over and will smile, and it's clear that it's a brave smile. She's trying to put on a brave face. And we'll just curl up.
Sonder will kind of put his cloak over her as an extra blanket. And just kind of like run his hands through her hair until she fully falls asleep. And then after that, that's when he will go to bed.
Alright then. What I will do is I will end the session there officially. But if any of you come up with any ideas for, like, say for example, before I went to bed, I would like to do this, or I would like to do, I would like to talk to this person about this, that is something that we can definitely do an almost like retcon rewind and do it later.
I would like to draw 5 cards with the deck of many things.
You don't own a deck of many things, so unfortunately that's impossible.
I still like to pull 5 cards.
Something we can work on. Alright. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. We have been 20 Sides of Failure. You can catch us every Friday, 7 PM EST, or you can catch us on our YouTube channel of the same name, 20 Sides of Failure, where all of our VODs go up the week after the episode goes live. But all I have to say is thank you to my amazing players, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.